Today we're heading from Tennessee to Kentucky, and we're going to take you along on our travel day.
But it's not just a normal travel day, because we're also going to show down our two GPSs head to head to see if we can figure out which one is better. For those of you who may have seen our RV trip planning and GPS video and reached out to see if we're still using our Rand McNally OverDryve 7, we're not.
We're not.
It's not because we don't like it. It's still a very good GPS. But Eric from Techno RV reached out to see if we wanted to try out the new Garmin 890.
Well, that's a question that we get a lot from a lot of viewers that they ask. Do we know the difference between the Garmin and the Rand McNally?
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing this video. We didn't have problems really with the Rand McNally, but because we trust Eric and Tammy from Techno RV, and we trust their judgment and we value what they have to say.
And because we want to let you guys know.
And we want to let you guys know, we decided to take this travel day and put them both to the test, side by side, or one on top of the other.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we're pulling forward because it's time to dump the black tank so we can get the heck out of here. So we might as well cut to last night when Chad starts the planning process, and that's where all this starts. So
that's right.
Here we go. Dump those tanks, baby. I always feel bad for the people behind us because we have two big tanks and they're both getting dumped. And by two tanks, I actually mean four because we have two gray and two black. And so, sorry guys, you're gonna have to wait a few.
Each travel day actually starts in here, back in the office the night before travel, because you know us, we're planners. We like to have everything kind of mapped out if we can. We like to know what we can know. So you can see here, I've got my RV Trip Wizard up. If you watched our trip planning and GPS video where we actually reviewed this Rand McNally the first time, you're familiar with this tool. This is the tool that we use to find, to plan, to research. It's the core of our traveling, really. Whenever we want to see, okay, what's our itinerary? Where are we going? That kind of thing. We want to find campgrounds and RV parks. This is the tool, and it's really, really an awesome tool. I mean, we will have a link for this below, but that's not what this is about. We're going to be traveling from Panther Creek State Park to Whispering Hills RV Park. So the plan here is to basically get the address in the GPS so I don't have to do it in the morning. And I also want to verify our route, and I want to take a look at rest areas and fuel stops. If I see that there's going to be just a ton of places to stop for fuel, kind of like this trip, because a lot of it's going to be on I-75, I don't worry about it a whole lot, but I do check it in the GPS and see that it sees them, and that'll be easy to stop. If we have a really long day and we're starting out early in the morning, and if we're traveling somewhere that might not be across an interstate, I will almost always find a fuel stop in Trip Wizard and save it into our trip, just in case we can't find one along the way. We know we have one marked. But step one is to plug in the destination into the GPS. So I'm going to do that for each GPS so you can see kind of how that goes. I'm going to kill these overhead lights so you can see the screen a little better. I am going to enter in the addresses. So we're going to Whispering Hills RV Park in Georgetown, Kentucky. I know that. I can look on here and see that. And let me put this into our new nav, which is the Garmin 890. So I just click on Where To. And I've noticed on this particular GPS, a lot of GPSs you have to go select the city and state and kind of get it in the location first. This one is pretty good about just doing an overall search. And hit search. Boom. So it finds, you know, the closest ones first, Whispering Hills, Tennessee, but you can see the Whispering Hills RV Park here. So we'll go ahead and select that. And then what I'll do is I'll hit the info here and hit save. That way it is ready to go in the morning, but I'm also going to go ahead and click go.
Please drive to highlighted route.
There we go. So we've got that entered here. I want to kind of take a look at the overall route here. I'm just going to zoom out. So if I look at this route and compare it to my route on the screen here, I like the route the GPS came up with better because I can see that this route has me going through some back roads that I don't necessarily want to do. I much prefer to get down to the closest interstate and go that way. I'm going to go ahead and go up here. I'm going to click on drag route, and I trust the navigation of the GPS more than I do RV Trip Wizard. I just do. Using the phone app, it sometimes doesn't quite get it right. It'll do it, but it'll pick a longer route for some reason. So I am going to always rely on the dedicated GPS before I rely on software on the computer. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this over here just so I can show you how I will look for fuel stops on our route. I'm going to go over here to our research tab. So I like to look on here and just get a feel for how many fuel stops we have. And when I say fuel stops, I mean diesel fuel and I mean truck stops. We have a video out there called Big RV in the Truck Lanes, and we only use truck stops and truck lanes because we're about the same size as a tractor trailer. My point here is I'm going to be looking for these truck stops. For now, I'm looking here. I see some Loves. That one's a little bit further away. We're starting out with a half a tank of fuel. Let's look at Flying J and Pilot. Oh, there's a ton. So I know I don't have to worry about fuel on this trip. I can find it on the way. If we were in a rural area that had a bit more sparse population of truck stops, I would definitely find one the night before and fuel up. And I'm going to take this Pilot. It's 122 miles away. I know we have that much range. I'm going to go ahead and add it to our trip right after the Panther Creek, just so we have it in there. While we're traveling, if I decide to open up the app and look at it, I can find that fuel stop. Let's go ahead and look on the GPS here, and I'll show you a trick with this. The two things we're primarily concerned with when we're traveling are fuel stops and rest areas. These GPSs can do a lot of other things. They can find restaurants, entertainment, you can do your trip planning, all kinds of tools in here that we don't use, so we're not going to review those. We're primarily concerned with getting from point A to point B safely with a large RV, having the system know our height and weight and all that good stuff, and places to stop and go to the bathroom and have lunch. That's really all we do on our travel day. We're not sightseeing with a 60-foot RV. So if you look here, you can see first of all that I'm dealing with this RV, 13.6. Of course you can put in your parameters, but I can also switch between car and fifth wheel. I can put Class A in there, I can put whatever I want in here, and it will know the dimensions and the weight, whether it's got propane, and it routes appropriately. I can't stress the importance of having an RV aware GPS. We see so many people out there who say, oh, I used Google Maps or I used Waze, and those do not route based on your height or weight or any of that, so they're not made for RVs. Along that note of being able to find rest areas and fuel stops, let's just take a look at the Garmin here and see what we show on our way. One thing I really like about this Garmin is this Up Next feature. You click this and it's got 4 categories, and it'll show you what's up next in each of those categories. Now by default it's got rest areas in here, so that's cool, but the fuel stations, it doesn't have truck stops or service stations like that. It's got every gas station in the world, which is completely useless to us with a large RV. But I found a way around it. So each of these 4 categories here you can customize and put whatever you want in there. And if you click on, let's just say this, and then click on the wrench icon up here, you can see that I can reorder these, but I can also change them. So I can have things like red light cameras, restaurants, just all kinds of stuff in here that are in the default buckets. You might notice there's nothing here for truck stops, but I can go to custom search and type truck stops, and then I can pick an icon for it, and I can put it wherever I want it in my list here. I'll leave it there, and I'll hit save. Now I have truck stops, and you can see they are all truck stops: Pilot, TA, Petro, Pilot. So now I can see actual truck stops that I can use fueling right there on the screen. And you saw I can also see rest areas on there. So let's get our address into the Rand McNally OverDryve 7. This one is a little bit different. You'll notice if I go in here and I just type Whispering Hills, it does show Whispering Hills RV Park because I've searched for it before. But in previous attempts at this, it does not find it by default. You've got to go in here to guided search and then do points of interest and then do city. and then you can put in the city where the RV park is. In this case, it's Georgetown, Kentucky. And one thing this does, it has that old school GPS thing that it does with the keyboard, and you'll see what I mean. G-E-O-R. And then I don't even get to type the G. It just assumes, okay, G, E, comma, oops, I forgot the town. George T, okay, now it knows town. It does that weird thing where it tries to predict and then limit your keyboard. And I hit K, it's Kentucky. So I do Kentucky, and then I can do RV campgrounds, all campgrounds, and there it is, Whispering Hills. Here I'm gonna click Save to Favorites. Now I've got them saved in both GPSs for the morning. So begin route.
In 0.2 miles, turn left on Panther Creek Park Road, TN 342.
This particular device, as far as finding things like rest areas and truck stops, has it out of the box. So that's a +1 for the Rand McNally. You can see that if I click on travel centers here, it's got a list of pilots and flying J's. That's what I'm looking for. It calls them travel centers versus truck stops. And we also have parking and rest areas all in one here. Now, one thing I have noticed about the difference between these two is the Garmin is good about only showing you rest stops on your particular direction of travel. If you're going north on I-75, you don't really care about the southbound rest areas. Even though they're usually together, you just don't care about them and you don't want to see them on your list. This GPS, the Rand McNally, does show both directions most of the time. So you can see that I-75 southbound and northbound. I'm going to be going north. I don't really care about the southbound one, but it's just one of those things. It's just a little quirk. So I'm done with the GPSs. Basically, I just wanted to get the address in there and save it and look at the route and kind of get a feel for what the trip looks like tomorrow. This next step I do in RV Trip Wizard, and this is basically going to familiarize me with my actual destination so I know what it looks like before I get there. So in RV Trip Wizard here, I am going to click on my destination. It'll kind of zoom in like you can see here. And I just get a feel for everything from the exit if I'm traveling on the interstate or major highway to the destination. And I can see here that I'm just going to be getting off an exit here, going left and then right, and boom, there's my destination. Another thing I like to do is I will go to more details here and I will click on satellite map. And this just launches Google in satellite map mode and shows you the RV park. This is really good when you're planning also and you kind of want to look at the actual physical layout, compare it to their map kind of thing. In this particular one, I know that we go under the overpass right here, so I want to take a look at that and see. I'm going to drag my little street view guy over here and drop him right down here where I can take a look at that bridge and see if it has a sign as to how high it is. And this is a very early Google Street View. Let me look and see what the date is on this. 2009, and clearly the camera wasn't very good on this. Sometimes you go into Street View and it's crisp and it's clear and you can read signs. I can see this has no sign, so I'm going to go back over here to Trip Wizard and I am going to turn on the hide and show hazards, and I don't have any hazards popping up there. This thing will pop up and show all low bridges. You can see if as I click it on and off here. I feel pretty good about it considering Trip Wizard doesn't show it as a hazard. Neither GPS shows it as a hazard going into that location. So my next step is to go back over here and I want to just kind of take a look at the actual entrance to the RV park. And I don't know if they're going to have this RV park here in 2009, so this may not be the best example. You can see it's being built. There's the clubhouse and stuff or whatever that is. So not the best example because it's an old Google Street View, but most of the time you can actually see, oh, I can see there's a sign for it over here, or it's a tight entrance, or I might see there's lots of trees overhanging. It just gives me a feel for what it looks like, what to look out for. This is the process that I go through to make sure I know what to expect when we get to our destination. I feel confident that tomorrow's route is solid and I'm not going to have any problems getting fuel or rest areas for lunch. So we're good to go and we'll see you in the morning. Alrighty. I will go here to the thing I saved last night. Whispering Hills, go, start a new route.
Going to Whispering Hills RV Park.
Favorites. Where's my saved location? Here at Whispering Hills, navigate.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
Alrighty, you ready?
Yes.
All right, heading out. So it looks like the Rand McNally has us arriving in 4 hours and 8 minutes, but the Garmin has us arriving in 3 hours and 34 minutes. So I already
In a half mile, turn left on Panther Creek Road, TN 342.
That computerized sounding voice is the Rand McNally. The Garmin voice is much better. We definitely like the voice nav a lot better on the Garmin.
In a quarter mile, turn left on Panther Creek Road, TN 342.
Turn left on Tennessee 342.
In 800 feet, turn left on Panther Creek Road, TN 342.
So you can hear the Rand McNally is a little bit overbearing, and it's wanting to give us directions every several hundred feet.
In 2.5 miles, turn right on West Andrew Johnson Highway.
In 1.5 miles, turn right on Mountain Laurel Road.
Having been here for 2 weeks, I know that this is the way we want to go. I'm not sure what it's planning up here.
In 900 feet, turn right on Mountain Laurel Road.
So look at that
again.
Mountain Laurel
Turn
Road.
left
Why
in
would it want us
500
to
feet.
go down there? It's just silly.
I don't notice it go right there.
Oh, yeah, no way. Let it recalculate. That by itself shaved a couple minutes off the time on the top one, on the Rand.
In a quarter mile, turn right on West Andrew Johnson Highway, US 11E.
11E. One of the things we do and that we use the GPS for while we're traveling is finding our rest area for lunch.
And potty breaks. Rest area.
Rest area, hit the rest area. So it says our first rest area is in 86 miles. That one would work. Let's see what the Rand McNally says. So it's going to show us Walmarts and stuff. We don't care about those. Looks like an information center. 48 miles.
I don't know what TIC is. Oh, geez, I didn't mean to hit that.
Yeah, sorry, I was hitting the brakes.
Yeah.
There. Red lights and all.
It's all Walmart stuff.
Yeah.
Would the travel center be a rest area?
Well, the information center is probably a break, so we'll see if it matches up. Yeah,
Williamsburg,
information
Kentucky,
center.
Williamsburg, Kentucky. So I have to add as via for this one though, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing that I find weird.
That's, yeah, it's a add to start. Yeah, this one's not as good for...
It's not just as, like, user-friendly, logical.
Road for 22 miles.
Yeah. In the upper right there where it says southwest, tap that. Right now it's north facing. One more time. Now it's in 3D mode. Okay, it's down to the same. So hit that rest area in Williamsburg. Let's see if... I don't think they're the same
And
one.
for this one, though, all I have to do is hit go, which I like.
Yeah, you hit go, and then you have to hit...
Add as next stop.
Yeah.
I like
Going
that.
to rest area in Williamsburg,
I like that
Kentucky.
so much better than add as via.
Yeah.
So now you like the way these look right now? Are you okay with that? Or do you want me to get rid of the...
You can get rid of that.
Okay, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to plug in and look for fuel stops. So,
Yeah, we've got about a little more than a third of a tank.
yeah.
We knew there were going to be plenty of fuel stops, just like I showed you last night. We'll just see how they compare, how accurate they are, see if they have the same fuel stops.
Okay.
Yep, up next.
Up next.
And this is a list of all the truck stops coming up. So
we've got...
TA usually has the best discounts. So you want to hit the
And
TA?
that's 59 miles away. That'd be all right.
That'd be perfect.
Hit go.
Yep.
Going to Travel Centers of America on Howard Baker Highway in Harryville, US 11E.
Now I'm going to do this one.
Yep.
I'm going to hit this.
All centers.
Well, hold on. I got to put my glasses on because I can't read it. That is another thing, too. Is the Rand McNally's smaller, so it's harder for me to see.
Yeah. And there's the TA, 42 miles, so it looks like it's got the same one.
Add as via.
That is via. and then just say add to start, I guess.
We'll see what happens. Okay.
Continue on this road for 15 miles.
They both have the same exit now, so.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna see how it does. Most travel days aren't like this. This is Command Central today. It looks a little more cluttered.
This was a pain to set up, guys. You notice I have bumpers here so they don't bounce around.
Yeah, because it was so bumpy. You've got the GoPro
To record this.
And of course, we've got the phone, the backup cam. Still got the TPMS going, of course. And
Bumps.
boom, watch out, bumps.
That's part of my job. That's part of my job too.
Oh, I bet the pantry door just opened.
That's part of my job too when she's editing is to warn her of bumps coming up. So I just sit here and drive and go bump.
Yeah, usually I am just sitting here editing away, and that's how I pass my time on travel days.
I like how the Garmin is showing me a little more of my route up to the turn, whereas this just kind of goes off into who knows what.
I know something that I want to talk about since this is a travel day video, and we stress it quite often whenever people ask us questions about what's the best RV for them to get, is accessibility with the slides in. On travel days, it is super important, especially now with COVID, and I wasn't a fan of stopping at rest stops or using truck stop bathrooms in the first place. But
Yeah.
now, especially, having access to our own toilet is absolutely essential for us. So we're very lucky that our RV with the slides in, we can access the bathroom, the refrigerator, woohoo, gotta get snacks, and the bedroom if we wanted to take a nap. I highly suggest if you're shopping for RVs, check the accessibility with the slides in.
In 1 3/4 miles, take exit 141 on the right to Tennessee 63 West, then take the first left. Turn left on Howard Baker Highway.
In 500 feet, turn left on Howard Baker Highway, TN 63, and then approaching destination on
Yeah,
the
TA
left
to the
side
left.
in 700 feet. Approaching destination in 600 feet on the left side.
A little busy. Now, which one do we pick?
Let's see. I would think that little shorty right there in the middle, but we just don't know, do we?
Nope, that's gonna be our gamble. We're gonna try that guy right there. Ooh, look, is he pulling forward? I think we have a winner.
We picked a winner. Woo woo! Question is, are we gonna pull up here after you're done filling so we can pee?
Well, you know, there's lots of sites, there's lots of spots here. I think we just go find a spot to pee.
So that was my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you meant just pull forward.
No, I meant up there somewhere.
Truck stop tip. Gloves.
Absolutely.
This is the time of the travel day where Daisy freaks out.
Down, down, down. Hey. Nope. You're all right. You gonna go to the right?
around.
Yeah. So I don't think we were recording when Chad said he checked the deck. We didn't need any today, right? We didn't
Yep.
need any today.
Please drive to highlighted route.
Say reserved.
Here. No,
Ah.
on this side, but on the other side it's not.
It's quite sloped, so I don't know how that'll do with the
Yeah.
tanks and
You
stuff,
can
right?
back into one of these, I guess. So one of the things we always do when we stop for fuel is I will walk around, check the axles, check the hangers, check the tires, just kind of look at everything. I'll also check Lucille, make sure she's still strapped down good. Here's something we don't want to run over. We're going to pick this up so somebody doesn't run over this.
Yeah.
Everything looks good.
All right. Oh. You want to lock the door?
Yeah. Well, I just walk around the truck. I just look at everything, make sure everything looks normal.
I don't care where I'm going, babe, as long as I'm going there with you.
Let's get going. I'm
All right,
hungry.
so it looks like both these are already set for our next stop.
This guy's got a super ego. Super ego.
Like a rolling stone.
This is not the truck entrance, feller. It's one more over. You're going the wrong way.
It's down there, dude.
Down there. He's gonna go anyhow.
Get you where you're going, babe. They're gonna get you where you need to go.
Continue on I-75.
22 miles and rest stop. Lunch break. We all get to stretch our legs, fill our bellies. But in the meantime, I need snacks.
Yay, snacks.
Snack bag.
In 1 3/4 miles, keep right.
In 1.5 miles, keep to the right on connecting road.
Welcome to Kentucky.
Crossing border, entering Kentucky.
Rest area closed.
Truck parking only. So maybe.
Okay, that's good. That's fine. Oh, that's probably just the bathrooms and stuff.
Since all I've ever known.
Nice and level. Are you ready?
I think
Come on.
she's just excited to not be in the
Oh,
garage.
there you go. Good jump. The door's open, but it's not in the way.
Oh yes.
So,
The entry door is often open when we make a stop.
Yeah.
Easy baby.
And typically what we do on a travel day when we stop for lunch is we lock this slide out over here. Well, I'll show you where those knobs are. We'll lock that slide out and we'll only put our main slide out.
Right.
That allows us to get back and forth.
Can still get to the
Get to the
microwave to warm
microwave.
up the soup.
Yeah, so I'll show you how I do that.
Okay.
Really simple. Right inside here. Up here. I know this side is the passenger side and this side is the driver's side. So I'm gonna close this valve here all the way. And now when we operate our main slides, only this slide will come out.
I'm gonna go check and make sure that there's
Yep.
nothing that fell out of the attic. And make sure nothing came out of the pantry that, oh, Daisy's food. Yeah.
Daisy's.
Oh, and parsley on the floor. Not bad. It could have been a lot worse.
So we're clear on this
We're
side.
clear. No, you
Where's the
can't.
dog?
You cannot have it.
All right, so we'll finish bringing this out.
Good thing I got the vacuum right there. I can just vacuum it right up. All right. Daisy's got to have a clean area to eat her lunch. Do you want to turn on the water pump
Water pump. Aye.
so that we can use the facilities? It's funny that our black tanks say and gray tanks say full when they're not.
Well, I emptied them, but not like 100% because we had people waiting for us. I got like 90% of it out. The other thing that we do when we stop for lunch is I start the generator up. This is good in the summer because we can turn on the ACs, but you can see we're down to 41% battery because we run the fridge on our inverter while we travel versus propane. Our method now is just to turn the generator on when we stop for lunch, charge the batteries up, and then go on our way.
That's it.
That's it.
Time for me to warm
Generator
up
starting.
lunch. Just let me know when I'm okay to start the microwave, because the generator running is what allows me to be able to run the microwave, right?
Oh, there it goes. I'll set this to 45 amps because that's what our generator can do. So
Good to
you
go.
are free to commence microwaving.
Sweet.
Lunch is wrapped up.
Yes.
Delicious.
Yes.
A little bit of rest. Now you can see that our batteries are about
You gonna hold
63%, so we can go ahead and shut down the Jenny. Inverter kicks in and we're pulling about 50 amps. Let this number settle here. But we'll probably have a good 4 to 5 hours left of juice at that pull rate, which is plenty to get to our next stop, and that's all we need. Go ahead and turn off all the lights.
Turn off the water pump.
I turned on the water for just a second, just a little bit of pressure out after turning off the pump. 4.5, 4.4. Good to go.
Sweet. All done with lunch, and before we hit the road, we wanted to talk to you about a couple of key points that we found are the big differences for us in the two GPSs. One that you've probably already noticed is that one is bigger than the other. And so the Garmin is actually an 8-inch screen versus the Rand McNally, which is on top, which is a 7-inch screen. So the display is much bigger, easier to see.
Yeah, that's obviously a big differentiator all by itself. I also like the maps and display better on the Garmin. They're both good, but I think I prefer the Garmin. It shows hills and mountains, and it tends to zoom out when you've got a long distance to your next location or next turn.
Daisy really likes your elbow.
Daisy, my elbow's clean, thank you.
Oh, good job.
The other big difference that I see is the voice navigation. I've never been a big fan of voice turn-by-turn navigation, but the Garmin is really pleasant.
In 1 3/4 miles, take exit 141 on the right to Tennessee 63 West, then take the first left.
In 1.5 miles, take TN 63 West Oneida.
And it's not too much of it either, because there are some times where it just makes little beeping noises or dings when the speed limit changes or a turn is approaching, whereas the Rand McNally talks to you the entire time.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are settings for that. There are things and settings and details we could go into on both these GPSs that we're not going to because we don't use them.
Yeah.
We don't care about that stuff.
We really just use it for the navigation and the RV specific GPS.
Yeah. Another difference between these two is the Rand McNally does have a dash cam built into it. So if you don't already have a dash cam, that might be a plus for you. The Garmin does not. We run a separate dash cam that's in our truck 24/7. That's its function, is a dash cam.
Yeah.
And
so we don't know what the dash cam feature is like on the Rand McNally. We've never used it. And then the magnets, you prefer the Garmin better because it's smaller.
Yeah, both of these have magnetic mounts, which is really nice because you can situate the mount in your vehicle, but still take the thing out if you don't want to have it sitting on your dash in the heat, tempting thieves, things like that.
Right.
The mounts, however, are a little bit different. The Garmin mount seems to be a little bit firmer.
And smaller, which is nice.
Yeah, it's tiny little square. It doesn't look like a big round thing like Dr. Theopolis if you're a Buck Rogers fan from the 1980s TV show.
Well, you're Captain Buck Rogers, and according to your ship's log, you left Earth in 1987.
That much I know. Tell me what I don't know.
When I first tried to install these, I installed them sort of free-floating in the window, and the Garmin is pretty solid, whereas the Rand McNally seems to want to shake all over. So I think the mount itself is not as firm.
Daisy's digging her hole right now.
You also might want to ask how I have this mounted in our Ford with a little dip thing there. I had to build a little thing, a little piece of 2x8, and then I cut it to square, and then I put some plexiglass on it, and I painted it.
He MacGyvered it, basically.
Sometimes you got to be able to rig things up because I wanted it mounted right where it is because it's out of sight, out of the way. It's not impeding the sight to the road or anything like that. So that's good.
We've got 58 miles to go, and we are going to look for one last rest stop to use the facilities before we get to the RV park.
Yeah, it's always best to be able to pull your RV in and kind of get set up without having to pee really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to do that now.
It's not looking good. Oh, 52 miles.
Yeah, it'll be right before. It's in Georgetown.
Okay, right before. Okay, good. So that's 53
Going
miles.
to rest area in Georgetown, Kentucky. Continue on.
Okay.
No.
Okay. like that it's got all the Walmarts in there. It's annoying.
Check, make sure it's the northbound, the very bottom one. It says northbound, hit B.
Oh, yeah, you see that? I got my glasses on. And then you gotta do that stupid thing there. Add to
start, yeah. It's not real intuitive.
No.
The Rand McNally as far as adding on.
Continue on this road for 42 miles.
Alright, both set.
In 1/4 mile, arrive at rest area on the right. In 3/4 mile, turn right on Rogers Gap Road. In 1/2 mile, arrive at Whispering Hills RV Park on the right. Arriving at Whispering Hills RV
I
Park
think it's a
on the
premium
right.
pull-through, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yay! They're still open. As usual.
We have packages waiting for us. We have 5 actually.
Yeah.
I already loaded 3 in the back here.
That's because the last place didn't let us have delivery, so we had them waiting for us. Holy moly, it's cold. Kentucky. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're only here for a few days, but I mean, I'm sure it's not going to get any warmer where we're going next, so.
Yeah. You excited? You happy we're home?
We're home.
So I think you can kind of tell, honestly, they're both good RV GPSs, and that's the key, is they're RV GPSs. You put in your height and your weight and your propane and all that stuff, and it routes you accordingly. Of particular importance is the height.
Definitely. I think that for us, there are a few advantages that we prefer with the Garmin over the Rand McNally.
Yeah.
And also because Eric and Tammy of Techno RV, they prefer that one as well. And there was an issue, I think, with the customer service or something with Rand McNally.
Yeah, there was a reason they dropped Rand McNally. And quite honestly, you can go directly to Eric and Tammy and Techno RV for support on products they sell. We
trust them, we believe in what they say, and I'd rather use something and tell you guys to use something that they recommend. So
yeah, that's our new favorite pick, is the Garmin 890. But honestly, they're both great. If you don't have one, get the Garmin. You know, if you've already gotten the Rand McNally, you're fine too. Don't go out and don't go chuck it or give it away.
Yeah, no.
It's still a very good one.
No, that is travel day done for us. Now you can tell that the sun's starting to go down and we still have a lot of setting up to do. So we are gonna go, and Chad's the lucky guy that gets to set up in this cold.
Hey, we've had no sewer for 2 weeks. I'm happy to hook up sewer.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So let's get set up so we can get toasty warm in there, and I can go lay down.
See ya. Oh, the Garmin, I say Garmin and the thing wants to search for me. Cancel Garmin. Cancel.
Just worry about the road.
I am.
That last little bit, I know it was smudgy. I didn't look and clean off the lens. Shame. Shame on me.
We're still using the Garmin 8. I'm sorry. I've reached out to the Garmin.
Say the whole thing over.
I said Garmin, so now the Garmin wants to talk to me.
That's fine.
Cancel Garmin. Cancel.
You didn't put the slide in.
I'm thinking, something doesn't look right.
Caught on camera. So there's that.
A note to Garmin.
Note to Garmin.
Oh, sorry. Now the Garmin's listening to me. Cancel Garmin. Cancel.
Oh, jeez. You don't need to be flying by us like that. Motor Coach Elite. Things that we like the best about the Garmin are, do you remember what they are?
You said Garmin in it. Now it's listening. Cancel Garmin. Cancel.
Bye.